Okay, it's me again. Boy, I love noise. I love keep people awake. I used to be a professor, taught computer science, at the college level after I got my MBA. And I found, God, you can't teach anybody anything unless you kept them awake. And then when I started doing TV shows and stuff like that, I said, boy, that's what TV is all about. Everybody's there with a clicker and moving along. So my job was to make you stop and say, what's that idiot talking about? But it's true. And actually what I want to cover today is the help that's out there for jobs. I mean, this is what we're all alive for. We have to contribute to society and make a living. And that's what life is really about. And what really bothers me is when I see data like this. I don't know. If you go and Google what is it? Gallup Poll. Okay, Gallup Poll has a poll out on workers' engagement. In other words, how much are people engaged in their job? How much they like the job? So if they're engaged at all in their job. And listen to this. 70% of our workforce is not engaged in their job. In other words, they're sitting there all day and they don't give a shit, right? 70%! That's amazing to me. What a waste of resource. Man, that's all these people with all this energy, all this talent, and ambition and everything, that for some reason they're just stuck there, and they don't even care to be there, just waiting for their paycheck, And oh boy, that hurts my heart when I see that. And I know to change that is really difficult, and you got to go through a lot of, heartache in a way, because it's not secure. But now, see, what's easier now than ever is because jobs aren't secure. What you think is a safe job, that's not secure. That's why going out and trying to create something yourself or be happy at doing something. Just think how much more you can give to life if you're happy what you're doing every day. Man, and that's what I see, is that, man, you even become more lovable, and then people could give you more every day because you're more lovable, because you're doing what you want to do every day. Now, there's another data that says 51% of employees are actively looking for a new job. 51%, that's half the workforce don't like it. But 70% are not even engaged in what the hell they're doing. So they don't like that. So what I want to find, I've been doing a lot of research, custom research for people, and finding local programs, whether it's internet stuff on the internet economy or government programs. These are all free. Everything I talk about is free. So people charge you money. Like me, I charge you money. I have to eat too. But they're showing you how to spend money. I want to show you how to do things without spending money. That's the key in life. The less you spend, man, the more you do and the more you can do. So listen, everybody knows about unemployment insurance. So if you lose your job, depending on what state you're in and all this kind of stuff, not mental state if you're drunk or not, but if you're Pennsylvania, New York, or whatever, those kind of states. So what you're in there, what state, you can get money to live on. Okay. But now, what people don't realize, that unemployment money you could use to start a business. Now, depending on the state you're in, it all depends on every state is different and stuff like that. So if you Google now unemployment money or apply for unemployment money, your state, Rhode Island or wherever the heck you live, and see, and then actually there's a Department of Labor, and see what I send out is the link and about where to find, if they don't know, because every state may have it or may not have it, but they should know about it so they can give it to you. And that's why, see, what you have to do with government employees and any big organization, Comcast or whatever, you got to show them what they have. And that's what paper is about. That's what the websites are about, man. So you can call them up and say, hey, see, you have this. If they don't think they have it. And that's how I do research, is I scour everything, and then I call them to want to apply for it, and I tell them what they have, because they don't know they have it. So if you also want to find that, you go to Department of Labor and Department of Labor guidelines for unemployment money and entrepreneuring, and you'll find what the federal government says about that. So, because every state is different. Okay, so now that means you can get money to live on for 6 months while you start a business. And I've interviewed people who've done that, and actually on my website I have people who've done that, and they started a whole new, some artist who always wanted to be a composer. So he's able to use that money and started a composing business. Now here's another thing. You could get like up to $8,000 to train for a new job. Okay, so you want to do something. You want to become a massage therapist. You want to get an IT degree or something like that, or become a graphic artist or whatever, maybe in the healthcare field. If it's short, like 6 months, 3 months, or whatever, they'll pay for that. And like here, I noticed in Maryland, there's like over 75, these training organizations that they will pay for you to go to get that skill, so you have something marketable. If you hate doing what you're doing now, well, go. I mean, for a couple months you get trained in something, a new skill, and get something marketable. And that's all through the same thing. Now, that's through the Career One-Stop Center, where you live. So if you put Career One-Stop Center in your city and town or county, actually use the county. That's the best to do, and talk to them about that training money. Don't ask for grants, don't ask for anything. Make an appointment and ask for training money, because that's the key to it all. You don't want to beat people over the head that you're just a greedy son of a bitch and give me all the money you got. No, you want to get trained for a better job. So now you get money to live on while you start a business. You have $8,000, and it varies from state to state a little bit, where you can what was I saying? Or train for a new job, a new skill, or become a freelancer, or whatever. Now, another thing, what you can do is, if you're looking for a job and the person says, who's going to decide to hire, oh, you don't have the skill. You don't know how to use, Facebook or some accounting program or something like that. You could show them how they could get money from the government to train you to learn that. Send you to school, or you can't get a raise where you are. You're stuck, in the customer service office, and you want to start IT or something like that. Well, you could show your boss where to get money, and that's again at the Career One-Stop Center, because what we do, we have bunches of money to train employees to have better skills and higher level of skills, so we compete with the other countries in the world. So that's what you could show them. Hey, you could send me to school for $5,000 and the government will pay for it. And then I'll come back, you give me a raise, and okay, so that's another way you could use it. Now, okay, here's a fourth way. Fourth way you could use it is that when looking for a job and banging on doors, they say you don't have a skill, okay, or you don't have any background in this. You've never done this before, but you think you could do it or whatever it is. Okay, you say, okay, I'll work for free, but the government will pay. See what will happen if you don't have that skill. So as for you to get the skills on the job training, the government will pay your employer to hire you to give you on the job training. Wow. How do we know about that? That's nobody knows. We don't advertise, and it's all different no matter where you live and everything. So find out about it. The career. The person hiring you is going to be too busy to do it. So you spend some time figuring out, from the Career One-Stop Center, about where this program is. So when you go out looking for work or something you want to do in graphic artist, but you don't have a degree in it, but you could do that. You could draw better than those assholes. And you said, just give me a chance, and I'll get that government to even pay for that training on the job. See, there's always to me, what life is about is trying to find as many alternatives as you have, but you have to be creative in seeing them. You have to take something that maybe wasn't even made for that, and you make it for that because you see a connection. It's really, I mean, just like, what, our iPhones now, well, I'm using it here. I mean, we've had cameras and phones for 50 years, right? Some son of a bitch just put it together, right? Made it the most popular thing in the world. We've had them forever. At least what it is. So that's what life is all about, is connecting things differently than normal people do it, and that's what I'm trying to show people. And also, remember, if you are on unemployment, there's extensions to that. So you don't have to say, okay, 6 months, they're pulling the plug and your ship is going to go down. No. So go to the Department of Labor, U.S. Department of Labor, and find out about the extensions. Put unemployment extensions, U.S. Department of Labor, and you read about them, because there's two. There's one for, like, I forget, it's like an extra 6 months depending on income in the neighborhood or something. I forget what the hell it is. And then there's another one if you were hurt by imports. Now, who would have ever known that? But man, imports are hurting so many businesses in this country. That it may be you. It may be you lost your job because they can't compete against China anymore, or somebody in South America, or even a high-tech call center, because now the call centers are in India, so you're being hurt by imports. And figure out that to get extension, from the unemployments, whatever. Now, also, what's neat is I'm an old fart. I feel older than dirt, really, really old. Speaking of dirt, and I could go to school free, and I did back when I was in my 50s, because in every state there's either free or discount. You could go to college for free at the state universities. You have to find out from the community college or the four-year colleges or whatever. And like now, I was just checking for where I live in Maryland. You can take 3 courses a semester for free. Man, I mean, to me, even at my age, at 70, I figure I'm going to live for 20 more years. So I got 20 more years. So I could go and become a doctor. So it takes me 6, 7 years. I still got 12 years to contribute, right? And that's what's going on in life now, too. So, I mean, a lot of these things start at 60, sometimes 55, sometimes 62, whatever, and that's free. Don't join one of these for-profit universities or whatever, that are going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 from you for a degree that really probably does nothing for you. Most of these people don't even get it, or it does nothing for them, and that's a pity. I mean, that's a waste. Or you want education, man, you can get that for free nowadays. And free, here's another thing to look at. It's the University of the People. UOpeople.edu. UOpeople. That's a place you could get a full 4-year degree in IT, in healthcare, in business, and an MBA for free. And you'd think it's some scam or whatever. No, it's a legitimate place. They have arrangements like Berkeley University and all big institutions or whatever. This is legitimate stuff. We're paying so much for higher education, and for people to get trained, it's ridiculous, I think. If you're in Europe, and by the way, that's another option. Go to Europe, you want to get a degree. You can pay as little as like $1,000 a semester by the best universities in the world. You don't even have to be a citizen of Europe. And you don't even have to speak any language. You just speak English, because all the universities now in Europe are speaking in English. That's the common language all over the world now, is English. So now the higher education, all the courses and degrees are given in English. So that's why we have such an advantage. By growing up in this country or living in this country and just speaking English, man, everybody wants to speak English. And now you can get, go to any place in the world and get degrees for next to nothing in English, but better than what you get here. And no debt. And particularly if you feel too young at 18, send your kid there, graduate school certainly, or you to go back again, you're 40 years old. What the hell, you go to Europe for a while. Get a degree in something you really want to do, right? And start a whole new career. And that's what's available to all of us nowadays. We just have to know it's there. Well, here's another little thing for your resume. You could go to Harvard. Go to Harvard Online Learning, okay? Harvard University, okay? The thing you and I would never even bother trying to apply to. At least me. I had an SAT that was too about plant life. And actually, I took it as an adult just a couple of years back. I got to show you about that one of these days, too. But you could take a course online. You know, it's, I think they charge you $10 if you want a certificate or something like that, $50 most. So you take a course that you don't, no SATs, no big application on it. You take this course and you get a certificate at the end of taking this online course, you know, from Harvard University. So now on your resume, yes, colleges, yes, University of Wyoming and Harvard University. And you don't even have to lie. Actually, lying's getting a little too interesting in our country nowadays. But that's available. And the one last thing about higher education and credentials is your state. Every state has scholarship funds. In our state, like I looked at the data a couple of years ago, and there's $17 million that people did not apply for. $17 million. That's for all ages. Remember, it doesn't matter how old you are. You don't have to be 17. You can be 70. You know, like me. Well, actually, I'm 73 or something like that. You know, to do all this. Yeah, and that's available. And that's what it's all about, knowing your options. And that's what I'm trying to do, is show people their options. If you see Lesko Tutor, I just put out 3 new books now. And this actually, it's custom, because everything is different no matter where you are. You know, like those programs I just talked about, the state program for scholarships is different in every state. You can't go to one website. For extending unemployment, that's different everywhere. Can't go one website. You know, for getting that training money, or for getting on-the-job training money, that's different for every county or whatever. So I'm doing custom report now. So I do a custom report. You know, and the one report I do is like 200, if you go to Lesko.com, you see right in the front page there, 299 ways you could keep the cash coming in by using government programs and internet opportunities, like getting a free degree. Now that's because of the internet and nothing else. Yeah. And there's so many other ways to make money now using the internet and keeping the cash coming in. If you just want the government part, you know, that's actually harder, but I have 150 ways to keep to use your government to keep the cash coming in, and then 140 ways to use the internet to keep the cash coming in. And I work my butt off because I love learning all that stuff. See, the stuff I'm telling you about today that I get excited about. Man, I mean, I'm so excited when I find stuff like that. I think it's so important for people to know. Yeah. So I'll research that for where you live. If you don't want to do it yourself, you could take the ideas and the keywords that I give out in here and find them. But whether it's me or you, remember, time is running out. It's your life, you know, and you might as well just start. Take one step. You know, you don't have to know where to go in life. You have to know that where you are now is not it. So you're going to stick here until something perfect comes along? No, you got to start. Take a step anywhere. It doesn't matter where. It's away from what you have. And it'll build. You don't know what's perfect. You have to build what's perfect. You're like Picasso, you know, doing a painting. You sort of throw a piece of paint on the canvas, and then, and that makes you think of something else, and you throw another piece of paint on the canvas, and all of a sudden you have this masterpiece that really evolved from being there. It's like learning to walk or learning to do anything. You got to take that step at a time and fail and try something else again, and you keep building it. And that's the fun part of life, right? At least I believe, and that's my biased opinion. We're all struggling, you know. And I think the most important thing is just to be happy doing it. So if you're doing something miserable, you can't even be, you know, that's worse. You're losing every day. You know, if you're happy doing something, even if you don't become a millionaire, man, you're happy already. Doesn't matter. Okay, well, let me know if you have any questions, put them here, or you have ideas about what topics you're looking for money and help to do, put them here. You know, just put it here in on my Facebook this thing I'm doing, the video thing, and I'll try to cover it next time, because I feel I could find free money and help for anything. You know, that's why I always thought I could do a book on anything. I just can't think of the title. I have to know what you really need. And if you say, oh, I need a lot of money, you know, that's not very helpful. What are you trying to do? Or what is the problem? If you have a little, what's wrong? You have a debt overcrowded and you can't do anything or something like that. Your mortgage is killing you or something. I could find you programs, you know, for something for that specifically. But, you know, you want to be a millionaire? I mean, the only thing I could suggest on that is listen to your heart, because I think you have a better chance of being a millionaire if you listen to your heart and not your brain so much. You got to use it, of course, but we forget about our heart. And that, you know, speaking from the heart, working from the heart, you'll do it better than anybody else, you know, and you'll touch somebody else's heart. And that's when things magically happen.